Bet you didn't think you'd get another update so soon. So, where did we last leave off? Oh, that the land had closed, so that is great. So we went up and signed the contract for our build, which, by the way, we are doing a modular build. So I think I explained in the last video, the house itself will cost like $183,000. The site work, which is like digging the foundation and the well and septic, electrical, all that stuff, will be another $125,000, and then the land will be $45,000. So we went up and we picked out our finishes for the house and we signed the contract to basically get the blueprints started and get us on the timeline. And the builder just reached out to me yesterday and said, so yesterday, today's the 11th. So yesterday, the 10th, February 10th, 2021. And said, hey, I just heard back from the manufacturer and your house won't be offline until the end of October. And I said, what does offline mean? Does that mean finished? Because it's a little late, but okay. And he said, no, since it's modular, basically they put it together in a warehouse. And then, so when it comes offline is when it's off the assembly line, the manufacturing line, when all the parts for my house are put together and ready to be put on a truck. It may not make it onto a truck for days or weeks after that point, then wherever it's being transported from, which I think Penn West, so that probably means it's coming from Western Pennsylvania maybe to upstate New York, so not too far, but still could take weeks for it to get there. And then in upstate New York, if a couple weeks after the end of October, which by the way assumes there's no more delays, puts building starting in mid-November, it could snow. The ground could be frozen. And so, if he had originally thought we were looking at August or something like that for the build, which, again, like later than we wanted, scheduling it like 6 months out, but workable. So, but in August, it would have taken them, I think he said like 4 to 8 weeks to finish putting all the pieces together, like for the house to be done. But in the winter, if it snows or if there's, something else, they can't, get up the hill or whatever, it could take longer. So we would be looking at not being in our new house until January, February 2022. And that's a problem because, as we mentioned before, we are expecting, and that baby is due in June. And I think we've said before, we currently live in an 800 square foot house with 2 bedrooms. One bedroom is like 9 by 9, and with the baby's crib in it and one small bookshelf, it's pretty full. So that's where our 1-year-old sleeps. So, our new baby will be in the bassinet for a few months, which is why, again, August wasn't ideal, but like we could do it. But the baby will have outgrown the bassinet by a long shot by January or February 2022. And so we won't have anywhere to put it. So yeah, we said that's a problem. But where there's a will, there's a way. And holy cow, do we have a will to get there. So the shape of the property is like, cover up some information. It's a rectangle. So this is the road, and this is like the creek at the back. And there's a little cutout, a little 2-acre parcel in the middle of it owned by someone else. So we have the property all around them, and there's this little 2-acre parcel. Well, when we went up to look at that property, the owner of that house came up to us on his quad, and because they all do that up in upstate New York, talk about riding their snowmobiles and quads, and said, I am thinking of selling my house. And I said, oh, okay, well, we may want to get some family moving up here, so maybe they'll move into your house. Well, now what we're thinking is maybe they still want to sell. Because he did mention then that he wasn't going to put it on the market. He didn't want to do that. And so I'm kind of hoping he didn't, even during this booming real estate market, which would be a little foolish on his part to not do, but works in my favor. So, but the thing is, I had said like, oh yeah, send me information. And I gave him at that time my email address. He never emailed me. And that was, July 2020. So anyway, we don't have a phone number for him, but we know the address. So we just sent him a letter. I wrote it last night and we put it in the mail today saying, hey, are you still interested in selling? Here's my phone number. You can call or text. Here's my email. You can email me. And, we'd like to learn more about your house if you're still interested in selling. So at first, sorry, I thought I heard something. At first, we were really disappointed, obviously. Like, we wanted to freaking build our house and just get there. But his house, according to Zillow and Realtor, is worth like $130,000 versus the $350,000 we were going to spend building. So it would be amazing, and it's a 4-bedroom. So it would be amazing if Chad and I could get that now. We'd be able to move in. Obviously, if this guy is thinking of selling and now he has a prospective buyer, he needs to start going to look at houses, and the closing process is going to take time. But we'll still be in before February, we hope. But anyway, it just makes a lot of sense because then we'll be on the property affordably, so we can still be saving money while we move there, and we can get started on the homestead. And it just kind of seems like a win-win-win. Like, oh, why didn't we think of that before? So like, where there's a will, there's a way. Just keep your head down if you're trying to start a homestead. And God, so much stuff is going to be thrown at you in this process. But, if you want it to happen, you'll make it happen. So we had a lot of options that we thought of. We were like, oh, we could go live with my parents. We could maybe buy another house, a smaller house, just to like get us by in New York, and, commute to the property. We could move to a bigger house while we're still in Connecticut, but Chad's afraid that we'll like put down roots if we do that and that we then will never move, but we have the land, so I don't know. So there's still some things up in the air, like, how will we purchase our portion of the land from my parents if we're buying this other house? And I'm hoping the bank will let us lump it together still, but I don't know. So yeah, that's the newest update. If you are looking to get a house built, you may not be in it for a year. And I know a lot of builders are similarly delayed. And my lender was saying that everyone at every stage of the process, the people who make the slabs for basement building, they're backed up 6 months. So everything is delayed. So hopefully it all works out. I hope this guy wants to sell and that he reaches out to us, gets the letter, by tomorrow or something. That would be cool. And says like, yeah, I am still interested. And we'll see what happens. But that's the update. Thanks for listening.